Right.
And then he got all the way to a top 8 qualifier. So ever since then, he's just been playing way more Daisy because it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't change it up for no reason.
Right.
But one thing I'm very much looking forward to is this game, number one. One thing that Mugen's going to have to watch out for is those ledge traps and the edge guards coming in from the turnips. But Ling's going to have to be careful with how short hop happy he is. Game 1 here, Broza. Ling versus Mugen.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see the nairs and the fairs from Roy just like that, because that's going to be the way to close space. LingLing is going to be trying to come in with some of this down tilt and some of this nair action to get these combos started, and Mugen's going to have to find a way to anti-air that as quickly as possible.
Exactly. You got to be very careful with how you try to challenge Ling like while he's getting out of disadvantage, because he will put out downers, but these sweet spot aerials will actually check him on that pressure. But so far, very even. Daisy can get a lot of damage on early, but the thing that Roy doesn't have is sweet spot aerials, very easy, while at double jump full distance. So you can see Ling hide out there quite a bit.
Yep, he's going to be kind of lurking in that space there, and we're going to see a lot of the sour spot up airs, I feel like, as kind of an answer to that, but it's going to be something that's going to take a very, very long time to really get anything off of.
Yeah, absolutely. And just trying to
like
space
that.
Ling. Yeah, he's just trying to force Ling to the ledge so he can't do exactly that, because that is the much easier part. But for Ling, now he's got to watch out for his landing, because dash cancel out F tilt is live, and also the option of just going for jab bear near center stage will kill now too, rather than just that ledge. But currently, Mugen's just got to get off stage. He's got to do another up B. He does just get by it though, Broza.
Magnet hands. Dash attack is going to be enough to do it. And that's the thing, right? Like, you sometimes want to go for 1 or 2 hits of the double edge dance. We saw 3 there, and that was enough for Ling to punish it. But I mean, now we can kind of see Ling kind of retreat to this aerial space, because you can't get jabbed if you're in the air.
Good shield discipline right there, because after that down tilt, you think you have the ability to punish her, maybe try to challenge it, but you can't. But catches him there, and that is going to even it right back up. Both of these characters are extremely explosive on damage too, so this low percent here is not going to last very long.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how Ling is going to counteract some of, like, because I would argue that Roy's a little bit more explosive than Peach, right? Like, Peach has these extreme combos, and LingLing is very adept at them, but those are going to be pretty situational and based off a couple of major openers, whereas Roy and Mugen especially can literally just let some stuff rip, and you're just like, wait a minute, that hit? He went for that? And the answer is yes, and it did hit, and your favorite player just died.
Exactly. Like, the main thing for Daisy is that you get that 70 off that string, but now you have to win off a ledge trap, whereas Roy, you win 2 neutral interactions, and then you just get to kill them in center stage. But it's a lot easier for Mugen to be able to try and get these straight hit aerials. However, it seems like he's been going for a lot of short hop anti-air answers. They worked a bit at the start, but he hasn't been able to establish any ground game on Ling so far. But he finally gets Ling slipping on the shield drop. Ling waited just a second expecting the early back air, but after the stall, Mugen caught him slipping.
The air dodge through there on the turnip, super great, really preemptive there. And that's something you're going to have to play around with as if you're facing off against Peach. We saw it with Mudace yesterday versus Kirby Kid, where you saw the air dodge waiting on the Z-drop that never came. But you have to be preemptive on these turnips, or else you're going to get clipped by them.
There's the dot eyes. Oh, good job actually jumping in there. That's a little reckless in that spot, because you can't just get caught by the Z-drop of that dot eyes, and then you'll get sent so low. But Mugen holding onto the stock pretty well. That is that move seems like it's something that you could punish pretty easy, but the end of Daisy Bomber is actually not that long. So you got to watch out for when Ling tries to bait you into that.
Yeah, Mugen hasn't fallen for it just yet. There's been a couple times with it where you'd be like, wait a minute, why isn't he swung at this? Very smart, very patient. And now you start to hear a little bit of this crowd come alive behind Mugen as well. There's a lot more Georgia players than there are CT players right now.
Yeah, and the thing for Ling, too, is that one thing that does come back to bite him sometimes is the crowd pressure. It's always been one of his biggest issues on the main stage. So if he can't keep his composure during this, it's going to mess with his combos, it's going to mess with his strings, so he can close out the game. Hopefully he can keep his composure on it, but for Mugen, you got to be feeling good, because you got the whole crowd behind you, like you just said, and then also he has a game to go ahead and put on his board.
Yeah, a full rage fair there. I mean, that's more than enough for Roy to close that out. And that's kind of the aggression that we've seen, is that LingLing really hasn't been able to get one of those big strings going. It's been a little bit of ticky-tack damage. And it's weird to say that for Peach, right? Because ticky-tack damage for Peach still means a 40 or 50% combo. But it's one of those things where he's get that, and then he kind of steps back and like tries to understand where Mugen's going to be approaching from. And this is going to be tough, because this is still best of 3. Like, you do not get a lot of time to adapt.
You see that Ling was actually just asking, like, hey, are there any headphones? Because he was like putting his head up. It is something that players do have to deal with, especially as you come up through the ranks and you're trying to get yourself as a big name competitor,
You get a target.
You get a target on your back, and people know how good you are. And that stage will put it takes away all that confidence you had sometimes in your ability to actually get like your combos, your punishes, because you get stressed because as soon as you're going for it and you hear, yeah, like it just throws you off. Like, so you have to be able to keep your cool.
And Peach is one of those characters where you have to be in the right mindset the entire time, because your hands have to be feeling well, your combo game has to be on point, you have to be understanding your neutral range as well, because while Peach has such a great ability to just blow somebody up, if you whiff on something, you're going to die a lot earlier than the rest of the cast, man.
I just realized, like, when I made that noise, I sounded like the dude from freaking Storage Wars. Yeah. Not even like the Tri-State Year, it was just something completely worse. But getting into game number 2 here. They ran into PS2. I wouldn't be surprised if we run it back. You don't really want to give less range for Roy to work with. You want to be able to reset neutral. You want to have room to like space out and camp a bit. But you also don't want to have Roy get access to another section to recover on, because you're definitely not going to Town and City. But you probably don't go to Kalos either, because even though you'd like that FD layout, it gives Roy a new recovery route to maybe go high or go low, and gives him a wall to tech off of on those turnips versus normally just getting sent off to the side where he has to hold and try and find it. So I think we might just be running it back to PS2.
Yeah, and it's one of the things, too, is like one of the ones you didn't go over is, you know, you don't want to go to Battlefield either, because while Peach can kind of shark and like low profile below some of those platforms, it's really going to be the issue of like not only you're going to have the side platforms to recover to, but now Roy has the ability to reset on those platforms as well, and kind of just suddenly you're giving this character with all this ground speed and all this damage from their aerials a chance to go a little bit higher, and it counteracts that Peach float gameplay that we've seen a little bit from that hasn't been really to take full advantage of just yet. And as we say that, he goes to Battlefield.
Now, one thing I was going to say on that point is that this is actually one of Link's favorite stages.
Oh.
So this is probably more a comfort pick than anything, because you can shark pressure with those flow up airs and stuff on that. But you're right, it does give Roy more combo extensions and new landing routes. So this is just, it's a comfort thing, less room to work with, but more survivability because of the slightly bigger blast launcher here on Battlefield, but it is also the last chance possibly for Ling to move forward in this bracket, because this is loser's side of bracket. If Ling loses this game, he is out.
And so I'm a little bit interested about the survivability side of things, right? Because we saw Mugen actually live to about 175 on that second stock in game 1, and that was something we're a little surprised by, that LingLing wasn't able to find some of those kills. There's that Ramby F smash, and something we kind of expect to see from Mugen as a player. Kind of a wild man.
My
and
goodness.
oh my god, the toss turnip, the down throw turnip into the back air.
Hey, you know what? Mugen is definitely a player for the people, too. Getting, like, that crowd in the background is definitely going to amp you up. You hear the Georgia crowd going on. You hear everybody amping him up right now. They want to see him get this right now. Oh, yeah, they're cheering Hyper Curve. Yeah, you're right. Now, Ling's got a lot of work to recover here, because this is not a deficit you want to be looking at.
Oh, this is a big, big deficit here. And there's those triplet extensions we were talking about as well. Punishing the Peach Bomber there.
Now, what do you do about the ledge trap here? You already covered him a few times on neutral get up and just spacing him out. Even though it's a soft hit, you still reset, get that ledge. Coming with that forward air, you got to win on ledge here at this point. He rolls just by the down air. It seems like Ling was trying to cover a safe range out of neutral get up, but it's not going to be enough. And he catches him on the high recovery. That platform definitely came in clutch. You cannot hide up there. That was a very similar thing that happened with Cola yesterday, too.
That's tough, man. Ling, this comfort pick kind of coming back to bite him here, and it's exactly as we talked about. Like that top platform just made an easy extension from Mugen, and now is up 2 stocks. And I don't know what Ling can do at this point.
The biggest thing is you have to get one of those crazy strings out of Daisy off this next stock. You have to win on ledge. You have to win on this edge guard. He saves the jump, but that's his up B gone. So you don't make that back there. Your double jump's already gone.
Yep.
The biggest thing for Mugen is to not swing on Daisy while his back is to him with turnip in hand. That will lead to a 0 to death.
And that's what, I mean, you see Link taken to the corner now. He needs that full runway here to get that combo going, and it really is just waiting for a win condition. You have to just get this combo started.
And I was just boxing him out too. Then one of the things that can happen is when you're hunting for that like that big win condition, getting roll red, you just keep taking a lot of damage. So it seems like Ling might be forced to not turn up camp anymore, because he's got to start to get his openers. Small whip punish there, but it's not going to be enough to really lead to a huge ledge trap unless he makes something work here off that. The turnip was not enough to do it. Mugen is looking really primed to take this.
Yeah, this is going to be tough, because now we're starting to get into the sequences where the rage is going to play a factor in these combo strings and how reliable they are after at this point.
It's just playing so well too. There's no reason to give up stage here. You fight in center stage and you fight as close to the ledge as possible when you have the trap, but there's no reason to move from right where he is, because that just lets Ling get a free edge guard. That's where Roy's gonna lose. And your shield is super low. I cannot believe that he got away with that. But the footstool actually ended up working out for Mugen because he could put his shield back up.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, jab back air, jab up air, F tilt, like it all spells doom for LingLing.
Yeah, jab air coming in, double edge dance, but a stray back air will definitely do it on the Daisy Bomber, and Ling is going to go down 2-0 here in top 24, made it to day 3, but that is the end of his run. Mugen, however, though, is going to move forward. We're going to see more of Mugen as well at Glitch Infinite, because I believe it was Colo that actually won that qualifier, but he gave that pass to Mugen so he could get him out, because Mugen has been talking about wanting to travel a bit more, but he works a lot. He's got a lot of stuff to do. We got grown people things to get taken care of, but it's expensive, and the fact that Colo came through to help his boy actually get out more, you see how talented he is. We want to see more of that, of course, in the future.
It's been such a highlight, like